Before we get started, can I say something? Thanks for actually setting the clock both times you booted up the game. Oh, wait, I did. I set up the clock right both times. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at midnight and call it a day. But you're actually in the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. Now that's how I know you care about the experience. You're paying attention. I don't even have any way of knowing the times you're setting are correct. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Pick whatever time you want, even if it's not the correct time you earned it. All right, I'll let you get back to the game. Good. So do we need to go through the thing again?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
I'll let it play out.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, we're back in.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, so I remember this. Does the DLC open, or do we gotta, like, beat the game, like, one time or something? Okay, no, it's already here. Oh, yeah, this is the DLC, right?
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
It's just click to open doors, right? Everything's saved? Okay. Because that wasn't there, and then we got all the endings, and then, yeah. Oh, yeah, any mods on Twitch? Why you bald, bro? Because I'm bald. Why not? You don't like me being bald? Guys, do you like my bald head or no?
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Ooh.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
So, did we go to, like, a whole new area?
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
What do we do?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last,
Got it.
It's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Guys, y'all keep saying it look like Sid from Toy Story. I don't even know who that is. Guys, I don't understand. Toy Story Sid. This dude? This is like the... What? Bro, I do not look like that guy. I do not look like that guy. Kid. Y'all think I look like this? Guys, I do not look like that kid. Guy, dude, whatever. Completely different person. And bro, like, it's not similar, bro. Y'all keep spamming that, and it's not similar. Bro is his twin. Guys, I do not look like who. This guy looks like, he looks like Sheen from Jimmy Neutron. Is it the same guy? It looks like this dude. Childhood pictures leaked. Bro, that is not me. I don't know. You have the same shirt? No, I do not. Guys, y'all just like being weird.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
This is the new content? This sucks! Can't jump anymore because you're not.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Whiteboard. Thanks for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar.
That's
and don't
true.
get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Thank you.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
I want to... is there... It is reset. Wait, where am I? Wait, hold on. Whoa, this is different. That's the outside of my office.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Should we go in the vents? Oh, we're gonna get cooked, aren't we? Coffee nut? What the heck? I died. Oh no, we're good, we're good.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Is this Elden Ring?
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity.
True.
Back then, it all meant something.
True.
Oh, the waste.
That is so facts, dude. In 2013, video games actually had integrity, man. Now it's just cash grabs. Look, oh look, the time is 20. It's 8:20. It's 8:13, 2033, 2013. Wow. New video game releasing.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ooh. I'm gonna go down. Never mind. Person of the year? Who's that?
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com.
A 9?
The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Dude, a lot of things are like that, bro. Look at Kanye.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Maybe it's messy.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's
Steam?
this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
They're gonna be bad.
Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Oh no.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Dude, Steam reviews. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Steam reviews got to be like the worst like form of.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I... What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button?
Oh no.
Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley.
What the heck?
Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's...
Very good.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45...
Very good.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're...
Oh wait, is time...
Oh, Stanley,
time is going...
You're back. You're back. Oh my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
Week?
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that...
So we're just like going forward?
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything.
He's gone. Guys, we made him upset. He's gone. Wait, there's still a skip button. Just skip? He's gone. The guy's gone.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth.
I'm good. He's gone again. How do we get out of here? There's just nothing.
The end is never the end, 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 is never...
I'm good. You think he just like perished? It's like Portal 2. The place is demolished. It's so dark. It's probably been like 20 years at this point. Ooh. You think we got rid of him? Where'd the door go? It's been like 40, 50 years at this point. It had to be. It's dark. Wait, I'm kind of scared. What was that? What a noise. The butt is gone. Oh, flashbang. Are we just supposed to walk into the abyss? Walking into the abyss? What do we do? Wait. I knew it. I knew...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Good.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
I bet we do that
Perhaps
same
he
thing.
had simply missed a memo.
Oh, look, there's new content. Look, there's a new sign. Look, new content.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
So will it be like completely different?
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
That's all I have to go to the stream. This never came out, though.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
More TSP. What's TSP? The
Calling
straight...
it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2,
Oh, I
now
get it.
that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that's playing the game. What button? No way it says my name, bro. Nah, no way.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
No way it doxes me.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is.
Yeah, right.
Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim.
Imagine your name is Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Thank you. That skip feature's nice, man. He be yapping. This is a pretty sick place.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Look at that guy. Infinite hole free. Oh, free achievement for sure. I can't believe it's that simple. Pull the lever, receive your achievement, no more steps. Easy.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you're... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
He just pre-jacked me. Sold me a fantasy that don't exist. I wanted my achievement. Now
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I ain't doing that again. Collectibles.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
I can't get out of here. I'm stuck. Those are bodies. Are they naked? I'm getting banned. Ooh. Don't come near Wyoming, oh yeah, or what?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Classic.
Oh goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
Was that a joke as I shaved my head? The bucket. He is not Kayla's laughing emoji. Guys, I
A
never said
common
I was.
complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it.
Where is
Well,
it?
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as
there
you
it
hold
is.
onto the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Kind of like the bucket.
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Well, that's fun. We just leave it the bucket?
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Do we just hit the exit now? Go in here?
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
12th birthday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Good. Wait, I didn't choose that one. I chose the other one. Is it lagging? What happened?
Or
We're still
actually,
live?
maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
What's down here? I thought it was somebody's intestines. Is it lagging, guys, or no?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Yeah, why not?
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
That was it down here, right? Ooh. No, I can't jump. It won't let me. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Try to jump. What have we not done? Try to exit again? Wait, we got past that part.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Hole. Somebody farted.
I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley?
That's worse.
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Yeah, it's just my office. Wait, so we actually play the second game? What?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay, already saw that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is the door open?
Stanley felt the bucket calling to him.
It's not.
Begging him to pick it up. Why was he not doing it?
Wait, what did it say? What was that? What did he just say? Why was he not picking it up? Wait, what are we supposed to pick up?
Stanley went around. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Where's the bucket? I don't see it. Oh!
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Should we do the opposite of what he says, or should we just go along with him? Because obviously there's gonna be like multiple endings. It's the same room as the beginning.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
And there's a storage closet right here, right?
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy, it's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket.
The aura.
I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket.
I'm gonna do it.
I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Just wait.
Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
I kind of want to give it. I want to give it to the closet.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There.
Property of
now
Stanley.
it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
I rate the shirt. Handshake.
All right,
emoji.
I've got a second sticker back here, and
Andrew with the 50-pound super chat, guys. Can we get a W, Andrew, with the 50-pound super chat, guys? Thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate it. W, Andrew, in the chat. Thank you so much, Andrew. I really appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Andrew. I'm glad you like the shirt. This is my favorite shirt. One of them.
I'm going to slap it on
My bad. Thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate it.
as well because I think it's appropriate. You see?
Sticker.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Do we stay in here or leave? I want to put the bucket in the closet and see what happens.
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
So, is that it, or can we stay in here? Like, does the game end? Thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like the shirt. This is one of my favorite shirts. I guess just leave. I'm gonna go down.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the
I'm gonna do what he
boss's
said. I'm
office.
gonna go up. Executive bathroom. Collectible.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these. Only the intrinsic pleasure
I
of
bet
a
there is a
job
reward.
well done.
I bet
You
there's an
can't
achievement.
buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
What's up, Soren? The boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. That's a little weird. Whoa, what the heck? That's locked. We used to be able to go in that. It's locked.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
It's the same keypad as last time. Should we type it in or no?
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
So it like is like the original. Oh, another collectible.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Good. So it's the original game, but it's like all different, basically. And then there's like what we just did earlier was like that was not the same.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
So we can go back up, but we'll do that later. I remember you can go
Stanley
back up.
and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
We'll do this one this time.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Interesting. So it's like the original one. What's up, Rage? Hey, dude.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Fired. So the guy got fired. Look, there's fired people.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
I can't see Nathan. There we go.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it.
Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy,
It didn't work
freed
the first time,
themselves
though.
from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and...
It stopped.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place.
It's
Not
dark.
while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
I can't see nothing. Oh, okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
So that was an ending. So let's do the opposite this time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Trust the completionist instinct. There will be a reward for finding them all. We have like 3 already. Wait, guys, write this down. We already have 3. Large room with lots of boxes, stairs, and somewhere that's red and blue. Write that down. Look, there is a reward for it.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no room.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, you can go in here now. Why are they treating that panda poorly? This is just nothing. See you, Curious. You're stop by. Have a good night. What was
Stepping
it?
into his manager's
It was like
office,
2
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed that Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
Mixed up.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I skipped the whole I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go back down the stairs. I know we can go back up here.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
Number 3?
The bucket said nothing.
Number 3? I don't remember that. What was on the number 3? Like all 3s?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
I wonder how many times you have to... You probably like press it like a bunch for something to happen, right? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't do anything. Like 3? So you have like another code or something.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Yeah, we're going down the stairs.
A hint of regret nagged in the back of Stanley's mind. Should he demonstrate the number 3 for the bucket again? No, 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 said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
You saw Samurai. Good, good.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator.
It's like last time, but instead of the guy yapping, you're just you're spamming the number 3.
Stanley and the bucket were so close.
Wow.
They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
Good.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door
wait, can we
that
go back up
read
again or no?
Mind Control Facility.
Let's do this one. Actually, we'll do this one and then we'll do on instead of off.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. Good. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content.
So they're saying
walking,
yes,
eating, working, all of it monitored
no,
and commanded
yes.
from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
For you, boy.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Birds. Oh wait, I gotta choose? I'm gonna go right. Oh, it's like a slideshow.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best.
I agree.
And Stanley was happy.
Those from you, boy. We just got a happy ending. Very nice. That was like the only happy ending I think that we ever have had in the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had the confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What if we don't grab the bucket? That's true. Let's do the same thing but downstairs this time. Same. We've only found 3. So let's go down.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Another one.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
There we go.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
We went from like the most like good ending to like a horror
This is the
ending.
story of a woman named Mariella.
I'm good, Frostbite. How you doing?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything.
He's just
yes,
dead.
she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
He's just laying on the ground dead. She's like, eh. Let's try to do it without taking the bucket. Phone. Where's the phone? Is it not that phone?
Hi, Stanley. I just wanted to leave you a message to let you know there's a few things I need you to pick up on your way home from work today. We need milk, cereal, dish soap, spaghetti, get a thing of sugar, some bread, and coffee beans, whichever ones you like. I'll give you a call if there's anything I forgot. Thanks, sweetie. See you tonight.
You're telling me I'm working 60 hours a week? And this lady's telling me to get groceries on the way home? Psh. Get them yourself. I'm gonna not take the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So, large room, lots of boxes, and red and blue. Somewhere that's both red and blue. What was the one we just got? Okay, it was just stairs. Yeah, it was like under the stairs.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Is it just the normal
Coming to
game
a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
without the bucket? Is it just the normal game?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Classic.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Very nice. That's not really anxiety, that's just I don't want to hear that guy yap. I wouldn't say it's anxiety.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
It's too late. I'll try to do this one. Like, is it just the regular game?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
I feel like if you don't grab the
screens.
buckets, the normal game.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I think literally it's just a normal game unless you have the bucket. Interesting.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Yeah, this is
their
the
true
original
nature
game.
revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
See, it's different.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in,
Wait, Blue?
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For
Blue and
he
red.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
It's blue and red, right? It's not on though. How do you get cash? How's your day? Could be.
And when at last he found...
Yeah, so it's just the regular game.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do,
Yeah, this is the normal
or
ending.
how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
What's up, Max?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Cinema.
The feeling of liberation. The immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Good. That really is the good ending. Like, it's the OG good ending. Wizima. So if you don't have the
All of
bucket,
his
it's just
co-workers
a
were
normal
gone.
game.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly
right
to
this
his
time.
chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Good.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo
Wait,
lift.
lots of boxes. Lots of boxes. That was what it said, right? Somewhere with lots of boxes would be the other collectible.
Good.
Said the bucket.
It's right
Now
there.
ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
It's right there.
Stanley
it.
did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I see one. It's too far away.
No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a minute.
Interesting. Yes, this is
Now
brand new.
then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know
need a
about
bucket
what
and a
is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Correct, right?
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
They're gonna be like, oh, he's gonna choose no. Someone choose yes.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
We gotta go no with the next one, correct?
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Nah, if I chose yes, he would have said it's not. I guarantee it.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible.
Let's just move on to the next one.
Are you fisting me? This is some sort of sick gimmick.
Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Camera broke.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
One moment. Uno momento. Oh, it's like, I mean, dude, what do I do? Oh, it's messed up still. One moment, everybody. The camera is on its last legs. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Okay. Okay, it broke again. I might have to just get a new webcam. This is messed up. Okay. All right. Okay. Do you have YouTube? Yeah, it's 100% on all platforms. All right. That's not a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless... Is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out.
Yep.
I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this.
Yep.
I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry.
Good.
But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go.
That's not nice.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Everything's a bucket.
Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that.
I need a
Who knows
bucket
what
and a
that
mop.
information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Interesting.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled.
We gotta get that one doll.
He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this no? Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
We gotta be able to get to it somehow.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there.
We got it.
Go to the cargo lift.
We got it.
You're getting close now, Stanley.
Very nice.
You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all.
Very
You
good.
can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Good. So there's one more Wait, this is different. This is different.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's go see where it is. We could have went in the vent. Where's the last one? Somewhere both red and blue. Where would red and blue be?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Red and blue. Like the end?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
One more. The end room had red and blue, but I don't know if that makes sense. We would have seen it. Yeah, we just try left.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
Interesting.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Good. Sandwich. So where is red and blue? I see red.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator,
Good.
as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Wait, what? What have we seen that's red and blue?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket. My bucket's gone.
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
That's... Okay.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
I got it.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Yeah, why not?
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled.
Anywhere they went together would be perfect. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to
What
his
is
chest.
blue
This
and
was not
red?
the correct way to the
Police?
meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the
could go
place
to the
to
vent.
be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the... No,
Could go to the
never
vent.
mind. The bucket was wrong.
We went there last
Stanley
time
took the door on his left to go back to the
in the
meeting
OG
room.
game.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the
Now-
meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there.
VHS.
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Is that me?
No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes.
Monetization.
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there? Come for us.
I guess the
All of his
vents
co-workers were gone.
was not good.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Interesting.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be
Blue
correct?
and red.
Was it no? Never
Police.
mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left
We'll
to
just
go
go here
back,
first.
and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section
What about here?
and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Surely.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel.
Who is
They
this?
want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's... Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now
GG's.
this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up. Don't you get it, Stanley?
Red.
We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Destroy
Surely
bucket.
you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
What if I don't wanna?
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What
turn it
other
off.
object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it.
No!
We can't get back to the classic Stanley
don't
Parable
wanna.
characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Flashbang. Good. Man, bump that. Oh, look. Cinema.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Good. Lovely. It's just gone.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
It's getting creepy.
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the
This is the
test
DLC.
of time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Maybe go.
But Stanley had
Emmett
felt
with
the
rose,
bucket
thank you.
calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind.
We gotta go all the way
bucket was
straight, and then we
wrong.
gotta go all the way
Stanley
left.
took the door on his left to go back to... And so
We
the
went
two
that
of
way
them
last
detoured
time.
through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Yeah, this isn't, it doesn't go anywhere, right? The soccer one? I don't remember the soccer one, I don't think. Somewhere both red and blue. Where would be both red and blue?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
This is red, not blue.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Yeah,
was
I guess
the
we don't need to go this
guiding
way.
him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh, the red and blue doors? What doors were red and blue? I got the stairs, yeah, but yeah, we're yeah. We got that one. Red and blue. We went back up.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Well, we didn't do this. We didn't...
The lights rose on
gotta
an
do the
enormous
other
room
ending for
packed
this.
with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both
Yeah, we gotta go
wondered
that
to
way, too.
themselves.
I do big regard. Well, shoot Ellie. Or Eli. Eliza. Grow a garden. Pretty fun.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it.
Did we
His
do
own
both
life in
options
someone
up here?
else's control? Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Did we do both?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
Red and blue.
Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
Just nothing, I guess.
For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends,
both?
Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment
Yeah,
about
off
taking
was that.
down the system.
On was the birds, right? I guess we already did it. Should we just restart?
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and
guess we
pressed the
did
button to
both.
turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds.
Yeah, I guess
Silly.
that's it. So
Silly
let's go
birds.
the
The control
full way
buttons became active
on the right
again.
side. That's like the only place we've really been.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Okay, so let's go straight right all the way.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket
That's like the
calling
only
to
way
him,
we've really been,
telling
right?
him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go
Yeah,
to
it's the only way we've
Good.
been.
Said the bucket.
Now ride
went
the
that
lift
way
all the
already,
way
too.
to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to
Bottom.
him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
You still do chess sometimes.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Blue and red.
Now pick up the phone.
Oh, is there
This
anything left?
is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Is that it? Oh. Press V to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
I kind of like the bucket now. I'm kind of attached to it now. After all this time.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think. It can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
You. Wait, what are the letters spelling?
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
M to ignore everybody but me.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this
That
sort
is
of
sad.
shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket.
just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Are the keys spelling something, you think?
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Why'd I actually close my eyes? Guess I need to go back to work. Wait,
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Wait, go to that same spot with no bucket, you think? Nah, but I feel like without the bucket, it's just the original game. No?
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was it? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Wait, the bucket tests? Like, the vent, right? Go like, through the vent? Yeah, but wouldn't it just be the original game?
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room.
Well, wait,
go somewhere
what if
else.
we actually give the buckets to the
cargo
vents?
lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
We never gave the buckets to the vents. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't the vent. It was something else. Where was the bucket destroyer?
Okay, this is day number 295.
Yeah, I feel like we already did that.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Okay, so no bucket. Wait a
When
minute,
Stanley
guys,
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. It was okay.
And then go
eager
go
to
the
get
lift.
back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Right?
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No? Other lifts? What other lifts? Oh, that's what I was saying. Y'all were saying go the other way.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even...
That's what I said, and you guys are saying there's something else. Yeah, the same way we just went, but just no bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
Wasn't the lifts
it.
where the bucket destroyer was?
It was okay. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
No?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Oh, jump
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you.
What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it.
Red and blue.
Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here, and now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Or snap 3.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nope.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Yes, this is the original
You
game,
see?
right?
There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map, because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option.
I don't remember this at all.
This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
I mean, I'm going to just say 5. I'm alive.
Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that
Thank you.
I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
I don't remember this at all. Is this DLC? I don't remember this. Whoa, leaderboard. This guy's got a world record at 0.02 seconds. What the heck? Thank you so much, Santher. I appreciate the 5 gifted, dude. This is me in 9,328th place. I'm in last place? Oh, come on. It's not nice, dude. A dead rat is ranked higher than you. Nice. I mean, okay, can I leave? Or is it gonna keep roasting me? Like, all right.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
I'm gonna go 4.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
We're playing a whole new game.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right. And if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Oh my god. Listen to me a little bit closer. Why does he keep going? Just sit in the corner. How long do I gotta sit here, man? Can I just not leave? They're not gonna burn it. TOS.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I didn't think it would do it. Are we playing Firewatch?
Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
We're playing Firewatch. Is this legal? We just loaded into a game that is not the game we were playing from the game. This is Firewatch. Bro, what?
Oh no. No, it can't be.
Nah, this is insane.
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Oh, come on.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
Aww.
Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
I like Firewatch.
Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Is this Rocket League?
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Is this legal? Like, they had to have permission, right? There's no other way.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Rocket League. Guys, I'm actually a champion in Rocket League. A champion.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount... Hold on. What are you doing?
I fell.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you.
This is Portal.
How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley.
This is Portal, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is like basically just Portal. I just fell. Bro, what the heck is going on? Are we in the office? We're in the back rooms of the warehouse. I agree, Mina. I agree. Bro, what is going on? I'm black.
I wonder what he
Black.
found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
I can wait too. I'll be in South Arabia, dude. Interesting. So are there just like a bunch more endings? That was crazy, bro. Insane.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Fine. This seems like an actual ending. We're going back to the start. There's probably a bunch of stuff we missed, but like... There was Portal? Oh, man.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 out of 6. Nice. So there is more.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
It was under the stairs. I remember.
No. Under the stairs was the 4th place you found a Figanley, not the 3rd. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? if Under the Stairs feels like the third place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments?
You want to play a 5 over 10 gifted?
Let's
I'm
see.
down.
What came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, we did not.
Well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
We did not go in a pink room. What? Have a night, Fluff. And then
This was the fifth mini stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Is this 2008? GG's copyright. GG's copyright.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
What's that noise? Ooh, spooky. Oh, and then this one, the last one.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay, yeah, this is a completely different thing. Oh.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone. No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
What?
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Good.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
Good.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Yeah, we never got one here. I want to just do this, and then we'll just...
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad
So 18,
we resisted the
right?
temptation. Next one.
I guess just go this way, not left.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too.
And the first one.
The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
A bunch of hoopla. Can you find them? I mean, dude.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
I'm tired. I mean, that was the start of the game, and now we're back.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Yeah, there was just nothing.
And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember.
Where's my bucket?
I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself.
What if that guy
I don't
is
need
Stanley?
Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.